The Auburn and Bryan Harsin saga continues as things get even wackier down on the plains. As of February 8th, Auburn has added a policy that employees have a duty to cooperate fully with the university investigations. Violations may result in termination. They are really trying to figure a way to fire Harsin with cause. But why is that, and how did we get here? Stay tuned to find out. So let's go back to the beginning of this, and go over a sort of timeline. Back in December of 2020, Auburn fired Gus Malzahn after a thorough analysis of his tenure. Malzahn had 4 years left on his 7-year contract that he had signed back in 2017. Auburn paid $20.5 million for his buyout after going 5-5. Following Malzahn's firing, there was a faction among the power brokers at Auburn that wanted to replace Malzahn with Kevin Steele, who had served as Auburn's defensive coordinator under Malzahn. Another faction wanted Auburn to conduct a nationwide search, and this group included Green. The second faction won out. Auburn discussed the job with multiple coaches including Billy Napier and Brent Venables. Harsin was athletic director Alan Green's choice. According to The Athletic, Green has been on shaky footing at the university for years and his contract expires on January 31st, 2023, and most likely won't be renewed. A change in head coach would be a power play for some, as Green likely won't be a part of the head coaching search. While at Boise State, Harsin put together a 69-19 record. The Idaho native being named the next head coach left many scratching their heads back when he was hired. The Tigers started the season 6-2 before losing their last 5 games of the season, including a bowl game loss to Houston, which was highlighted by Dana Holgorsen yelling from the outside for Bryan Harsins to get off stage so the winning team could talk. Throughout the coaching carousel, some wondered whether Harsin would leave for the Washington or Oregon job, but nothing came out of it. Things were rocky at Auburn, and nothing was putting out the fire. The flames continued to get bigger and bigger. By the bowl game, Harsin had fired offensive coordinator Mike Bobo, and Bo Nix, the son of Auburn great Patrick Nix, and the Tigers starting quarterback from 2019 to 2021, had entered the transfer portal. 19 other players did the exact same. Harsin had seen 4 coordinators get fired or leave. Defensive coordinator Derek Mason took a massive pay cut to take the same job at Oklahoma State. The Mason news was surprising, with a coach who had previously worked for Harsin telling The Athletic, "I don't know if he really understood the South and what he was getting into there. When you get a guy like Derek Mason who is so well respected and he wants to get out like that, that should tell you a lot. Relationships matter, especially down in the South." But in my opinion, those are not the reasons Harsin may or did get fired. It has occurred on the recruiting trail. Bryan Harsin had a disastrous 2022 recruiting class when you look at what is expected from Auburn. Auburn finished with the 19th best recruiting class in the nation, which ranked 9th in the SEC. Their best player in the class, Robert Woodyard, the 141st best player in the class and 8th best player in the state of Alabama. You heard that right. Auburn watched the top 7 recruits in the state of Alabama choose their arch rival, the Crimson Tide, Florida, and soon-to-be SEC member, Texas. The next player from Alabama to choose Auburn was Eston Harris Jr., who was the 14th best player in the state. To put that in perspective, 6 of Malzahn's 8 classes were ranked in the top 10 in the nation. The other 2 finished number 11 and number 12. Auburn is one of 2 teams, the other being Tennessee, that has to play Alabama and Georgia every year. Along with that, they need to play against Texas A&M. All 3 of those schools just finished in the top 3 nationally for recruiting. The 2023 class in the state of Alabama is loaded. 6 of the top 37 players in the class of 2023 rankings come from the state. It would be a disaster for Auburn if all those players wound up playing for its rivals. The fear is that if Harsin has another season like 2021, the Tigers will need to make a change, which would give them little chance to sign players whose recruitment was coming to an end. Auburn is still searching for an offensive coordinator and did not sign any players during National Signing Day. They watched 20 players enter the transfer portal and so far have only added 5 players back. They are currently ranked 9th in the portal as well. As Andy Staples and Bruce Feldman put it, an exception of unequivocal support suggests Harsin did not do much homework before he took the Auburn job. Auburn is one of the most passionate, devoted fan bases in the nation, but is also known for meddling donors and exceedingly high expectations. Predecessor Gus Malzahn had won the SEC in 2013 and the SEC West in 2017. He'd beaten Nick Saban head-to-head more than any other coach in the SEC. Gene Chizik won a national title at Auburn in 2010 and was fired after going 0-8 in the SEC in 2012. Auburn's then president and athletic director had a secret meeting with then Louisville coach Bob Petrino in 2003 about replacing Tommy Tuberville, who fought off the coup attempt and went 13-0 in 2004. Tuberville lasted until his firing in 2008. For as long as I have followed college football, it always seemed like the head coach of Auburn was on the hot seat unless they won the national title. The Auburn fanbase expects to be competing for national titles every year, but fail to structure their program to be able to succeed. As Josh Pate, who's one of my favorite podcasters for college football, puts it, when you look at Alabama and ask who runs it, everyone's answer is Nick Saban. When you look at Georgia football and ask who runs the program, everyone's answer is Kirby Smart. When you bring that same question up for Auburn, you are stumped. It is definitely not Bryan Harsin from what we've seen over the past few weeks. Venables and Napier turned down the Auburn job because you could not tell who was in charge there. There was no alignment within the program. Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland told the media, one thing that doesn't get talked a lot about, we have an incredible alignment among our university hierarchy from the Board of Trustees, the President Ken Funches, myself, and the University Athletic Association Board, Gators Booster Board, and you guys probably see things from other schools where trustees are trying to get involved in the decision-making process and who's really calling the shots. That doesn't happen here at the University of Florida. At Auburn, the question of who is calling the shots remains relevant, with a presidential transition underway and potential change looming at athletic director, who will be the ones who will, as the outgoing president said, separate fact from fiction. This question looms over everything at Auburn, and the answer to it may hold the answer to any questions about Harsin's future. So that brings us to where we are today. If Auburn fires Harsin without cause, they will owe him $18.3 million, with half being paid within 30 days, according to his contract. Auburn may try to fire him with cause, but that could lead to a costly legal battle. Look at Kansas and UConn. The Tigers added more fuel to the fire when they implemented a new policy on February 8th that states employees have a duty to cooperate fully and truthfully with investigations, inquiries, and reviews relating to their university responsibilities and professional obligations. Section 7 of the policy states, for example, employees must do the following: cooperate in sharing requested information and participating in interviews, produce all requested university documentation within their custody or command, disclose additional information relevant to the investigation or review, and maintain confidentiality as advised. Employees participating in an investigation or review are protected by applicable policies against retaliation. Employees shall be entitled to relevant legal protection in matters involving potential criminal conduct. This could be used against Harsin, who has been on vacation the past few days. If Harsin does get fired, and if he does by the time of this video comes out, where does Auburn go from here? Although they are in a talent-rich area, they play a brutal schedule and there is no job security if you can't win day one, recruit at a high level. I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think will be the head coach of Auburn football at the start of the 2022 season? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out my videos on Zach Calzada or the mess at Arizona State right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.